project open mic. Let's get the show off right.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you for being here with me, cause
it's project open mic. Let's have a good show tonight.
Let's get the topic straight. Let's get things good. Let's do everything that we should.
It's project open mic. Let's get the show off right.
Let's open our minds and take out our style. Let's see what's going on in the world tonight.
It's project open mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's project open mic. Let's get the show off right. It's project open mic. Let's have a good show tonight. It's project open mic. Let's get the show off right. It's project open mic. Let's have a good show tonight.
Alright, what's going on, everybody? Sorry for a little mess up I had. Basically, technical issues that really got to me, but it's not going to destroy a good show tonight. So tonight we have a great show for you. We're talking about fathers. Since this Sunday coming up is Father's Day, I hope you guys got your gifts ready. Don't give them the usual socks and a tie and perfume. No, you deserve something more better. So please do that, okay? This is your host Tig for Project Open Mic, owner and CEO of TT Records. Of course, you guys are turning to Project Open Mic Thursdays. It should start at 9:50 to 9:30, but I'm late tonight because of technical issues. But again, if you want to watch and contribute to the conversation and everything, you can check us out, of course, on YouTube, of course, right there, Project Open Mic. Then you can go also to Facebook, TT Records on Facebook for Project Open Mic. And then you have also Twitch TV, Spotify, Stitcher. We're going to be trying to get again on Apple and also Amazon as well too. Amazon has a little setup, so we're going to try to get on that. Nico, which is in Japan. YouNow, Live Now, which is European, and Tempo FM. Don't forget European as well too. So again, if you want to check us out, remember Project Open Mic. Just put it into your favorite video player stuff, like even on Rumble and everything. It should pop up with somewhere linked to us. If you have a description, there's a link tree at the bottom, so you can link to these videos. If you don't want a video, which tonight I heavily think that you should watch the video. You can go and you want an audio. Remember, Spotify has the audio for us, and like I said, Stitcher, Google Podcasts, as well as Anchor. So check us out there on those platforms. Tonight, like I said before, I want to wish all good and the males who are good, who are trying their best in most cases, because I mostly started Project Open Mic in most cases because of male advocacy to help males be better and do the right thing. But there are sometimes males can't do the right thing because they're being blocked by certain things. So for those who are trying to do the good in y'all, I hope for you and I wish you a blissful, happy Father's Day. For the fathers who have been in their kids' life and been a good father, again, happy Father's Day to you. Not all good fathers are going to be with the mother, because again, you could be a bad boyfriend or husband, and I'm not talking about violent, but you'll be a bad boyfriend or husband, but you could be a great father to the kids. I am a proponent for co-parenting. Mothers, if it doesn't work out, go ahead, move on, but make sure those kids have their fathers in their lives, and vice versa. To have the mother, it takes two, as we're going to get into this and show you what I'm talking about. But in the regard, I want to make sure that people understand that father's life does matter. It's very important into what's going on today. That's why let me just bring it up here for a second, if you guys don't mind. Like I said, in the situation again of tonight's talk is about fathers. As the Western culture is trying to destroy the male identity, fathers more important than ever. Tonight, I'll show you why the fall. Well, okay, I show you tonight why you should not fall for their wordplay. And I'm talking about the leftist people and also these Marxists and these people who want to destroy, the family structure. Who in Black Lives Matter, who on their page used to say we do not need the nuclear family, which is the number one thing that's destroying Black Americans. Number one that's destroying Black Americans. But don't fall for their wordplay. Be a good father. Be a good. I teach you how to be a good father and why fathers are needed to help get a better society. I should say, is needed to help get a better society along with good mothers to raise a morally good generation. All right, that's what tonight's show is all about. So let's get down to the nitty gritty of certain things. Again, the chat is up. Again, I apologize for the lateness. That's because of a real computer technical error that I couldn't really figure out certain things. So I apologize for that. So again, I hope you guys are doing good. If not, share this video for a lot of people out there who needs the, like I said, there's plenty of good fathers out there. I don't like how the media change stuff. So let's start off with this. This is what I want to start off with tonight. Let's go with the wordplay part. Let me show you what I'm talking about with the wordplay part. That you gotta be careful on this. And you're gonna hear double sound just for a minute. I'm double checking because sometimes, like I said, with all these glitches happening, I want to make sure my voice is coming through right. Bingo, is coming in good. Thank you. All right. Yep, everybody. Yep, thank you guys in the chat and stuff like that. Thank you for that. So I want to bring up this situation right here to show you about the wordplay. The Biden administration replaces mothers with birth people in a maternal health guide. Sorry, let me put it on the screen so I can read it because I hate when I read it from the small screen, from the broadcast screen. So you see what I'm talking about? The Biden administration replaces mothers with birthing people. There's just mothers. Only women can birth kids. I'm not trying to cause no problem, but only women can birth kids. No man can birth a kid. Okay? And we got to stop living in this weird world and this weird reality. And that's where you got to watch out for the wordplay. The White House 2020 fiscal year budget replacing the word mothers with birth people in a section about public health funding prompting ridicule. Monday from President Joe Biden's conservative critics. They say conservative critics. Everybody who has logical sense figures that this is crazy. This is literally crazy. So I don't get it. I want to see if we could bring I want to see, because I'm not lying to you with that. I want to bring you to and that's what I say. Funny thing about it is you can go and see the I'll let the audio play. Hear these people say it themselves. So it's not like they made it up or this is a conservative or Republican, but they always know a Republican boogeyman. No, these are people who have lost reality and saying stuff like this. And again, these are the same people who are controlling what's going on in the conversation out there. And it's not cool. Okay. Of course, you're gonna do that. All far as music, so I can't really do too much. I wanted to play the video of, and maybe I can because it's. Let's see.
Infused with nourishing serum.
Let's see if I can play the video. I want to play because Corey Bush was one of them who said this craziness.
Birthing people in a speech at the Capitol on Thursday. The Democrat made the comments while discussing how doctors dismissed her pain during her 2 pregnancies.
I sit before you today as a single mom, as a nurse, as an activist, and as a congresswoman, and I am committed to doing the absolute most to protect Black mothers, to protect Black babies, to protect Black birthing people, and to save lives. Thank you, and I yield back.
Republican
Black birthing people, and you're a single mom. Don't you see the contradiction between the nonsense? Don't you? So that's one. And the Biden administration adopted that early this year, saying about birthing people. There's birthing mothers. There's mothers. That's it. If you birth a child, you're a mother. And since men can't birth children, you're not a mother. You're a father, but you're not a mother. And this is why I say you got to watch the wordplay. These are the same people who will try to change your words, say something crazy, and then tell you you're the one who are crazy. Don't let them do that. Do not back down from this, okay? I respect all mothers out there for Mother's Day, and I'm happy for those who are trying their best to work it out with the fathers, and because we need both mothers and fathers to raise a great generation, and we need both of them. Single parenthood, some of it is because of widows, some of it because of a father passed away, unsuspecting widows as well. Like I said, sometimes the mother passed away. I saw a video where a woman. I don't want to be a downer all the time. I don't want to be a downer, but I might gotta find that video where a woman, because sometimes you guys don't believe me, I need to bring in them I need to bring in them receipt. Maybe in that regard, right sound effect. I gotta bring in the receipts sometimes just to show you people this, and I'm going to do that a little bit because I just want you hear how crazy this is. Okay, this is why I don't say I respect all mothers who want to raise their kids, who wants to make sure that their children are raised mentally good, mentally healthy, physically healthy, spiritually healthy, so they can have a productive lifestyle going forward. We are leaving this planet to the next generation. We hope that the next generation will be better. Like I did in the video last week, Joe Biden said this is the least prejudice these set of children, the Gen Z is the least prejudiced children. No, they're not. They're the most prejudiced children. If words could trigger them and try to get people to catch get their jobs taken away, their food taken away like that is crazy. You say a his, her, all the pronoun stuff, which again nobody speaks in that language, and I don't know how you mispronounce somebody when the person's not there because that's not how we talk. If you say that, they go all crazy and want to cancel and kill you. Look what happened to Dave Chappelle, because he cracked jokes about the LGBT community, which again, that you want to be a part of society, but you can't take jokes. That's a problem. And the person who attacked Dave Chappelle said because he was making jokes at LGBT. Dave Chappelle made jokes about Asian, white, black, men, women, and no races. Everybody, if you listen to his jokes over the years from Killing Me Softly all the way up, he has made jokes of everybody. Why should they exclude that group? That makes no sense. How you cannot ask to be normal but still want special privilege. That don't work. That don't work at all. So you can't do that. So I just want you to. I'm gonna play this. I'm just gonna play this so you can hear it because it's crazy. And then we're gonna go into more things about father. I didn't want to. I'm just making sure I'm laying down my groundwork so you guys can understand why fathers are very well necessary. It's not that they're needed; they're necessary. Okay, necessary. So, cause what the audio about to hear is a woman calling into a show. Sorry. I'm gonna call into a show. So, and this is how she feels, and this is why you gotta be careful. So, listen to this. Listen to this audio.
I want my fiance to get rid of his 5-year-old daughter. Hello, relationship rules. Please keep me anonymous. I need some advice. My 32-year-old fiance has a 5-year-old daughter. Her mother passed away when she was giving birth to her. He has been raising her ever since he lost his wife.
Which I shouldn't stop. I should let it go straight. Should I go straight? Should maybe come back, whatever. But that's a good father. That's a good man right there. And he said, okay, he has to move on. He wants to still a love of a woman, but he raised his daughter. But hear the craziness out of this woman.
With the help of his family, of course. I'm now in the picture, and we're going to get married in 2023, and I'm 6 months pregnant with his son. I am not the stepmother type, so I know I won't treat his daughter the same way I would treat our son. Oh my God. To be quite honest, she annoys me. She looks exactly like her mother, and she constantly reminds my fiance of his dead wife. And she is very attached to her daddy, which makes me afraid that my son will not be able to bond with his father because of her. Basically, I want to tell my fiance to get rid of her. She can live with his grandparents, or we can find a nice couple that wants to adopt a child. Wow.
What? What the fuck?
No, no, and no.
That is crazy. And that's Pink Bush Lessons sing. I'm talking about going, no, no, no.
No, son of a bitch!
This is crazy. And I hope this woman outs the woman's name. Sometimes you don't, I understand you want privacy. You out this woman. This is crazy because that woman would do harm to the daughter if this is what she thinks. That is a crazy person. And you met the father. You know he had a daughter. And most cases, that's how it is. Sons bond more better with the mother, and daughters bond more better with the fathers. But you know this, and you're gonna marry and get this son. And you said you wanna what? You wanna get? Let's ask Paul. What you wanna do?
Attached to her daddy, which makes me afraid that my son will not be able to bond with his father.
He will bond.
I will treat our son. Oh my God. To be quite honest, she annoys me.
She annoys you. Why?
Looks exactly like her mother.
Was the mother better than you? Was his ex-wife, but not ex-wife without to death, which is sad to hear, and that sucks.
She constantly reminds my fiance of his dead wife.
Yeah, cause it's a mini version of her. And you know that by partaking in going a relationship with him. I doubt he lied and said, oh, I don't have a daughter. No, you know that.
And she is very attached to her daddy.
Of course she should.
Me afraid that my son will not be able to bond with his father.
Yes, he would, in a different way. Sons and fathers, like I said, it's different ways.
Because of her. Basically, I want to tell my fiance to get rid of her.
What? What the fuck?
You want your fiance to get rid of his daughter? I wish you could play I wish I had a clip of my soundbar with a guy when Joe Getty saying, "You're crazy." And I hope you find out about this lady. Tell who this person is to get the father, because we don't know what kind of mental abuse this woman could be doing to his daughter.
can live with his grandparents, or we can find a nice couple that wants to adopt a child.
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
You want him to. Oh my goodness. You are entitled. Crazy. Oh my goodness. That is.
You piece of loser.
Why would you? I hope he knows about this. I hope he finds about this. This is why I say how crazy this thing can be. We don't know how she's treating the child behind the scenes, and she's saying this like that. These are delusional, mental ill children. She's not the stepmother type. But you know that from the get-go when you try to date this guy. I doubt he don't know about this, and two, I doubt he had a child the way you describe him. This is why, guys, again, if you please be careful with who you choose. Vet them as best as you can. Now, again, I'm not saying that, like I said, the guy may not even know this, that she wants this to happen, but you want him to give up his daughter for your son. Even though I can understand if there was a crazy baby mother in the frame of the family and all that stuff, but he lost his wife for his daughter. You are asked. You are I don't care who you are. That's a messed up mentality thinking. And then you want to know why society is what it is today. You want to know why society is what it is today. That is delusional craziness. Seriously. Let's start off with this. This is why. Holy crap. All right. I just wanted to show that so people can understand and so you can see what I'm talking about. Okay. This is that's going on in the world today. That's why I said we need to protect the society and everything. Have a more good child and all the stuff. The new generation that is not that crazy and not that entitled as this young woman is to this. So that's why I say sometimes people say, "Oh, we got to protect all women." Not even a woman want to protect a woman, and I've seen it multiple times as well too. So let's get into. Let me say this, and then we'll get into other videos of more why we need fathers. Okay? So I'll say this. I, with hopes to being a father myself, I hope I get a boy and a girl. I hope I could partake my wisdom and my knowledge onto them. I know firsthand why fathers are important. I have mentored and been in young men's life who needed fathers and see the difference. I've been around kids that when I project my voice, when kids are acting behaviorally bad, and I say, "Hey, stop this," they stop. They don't play around. They don't look differently, whatever. Fathers have an authority figure. Not to, again, we want them to understand that the moms are nurturing. Father is like the rules, the law, to make sure you are ready and prepared to go out into society. Without fathers, that's why they have said 90% of jail inmates in America are to single parents, mostly mothers, because young boys become super emotional and do heinous things. Like we have with the mass shooting and all that stuff like that. They do heinous things. Mothers will always try to protect their babies and stuff like that. I've seen some mothers who outed their children, and God bless those mothers. Example was a mother. I'll give you two examples. There was a mother who had they had a flash mob, and there was a flash mob and they robbed the store, and it was on the news. And the mother saw her son in that flash mob, and she called the cops and put it in there. And many people back then on Facebook and all that stuff used to say, "Oh, you're a bad mother turning in your son," and all stuff. These are black women talking to this black mother. She said, "No, she said, I don't care what y'all say. I'm saving his life. You do a crime, you're not gonna be living in my house doing crime stuff. I want you to understand that this will get you killed. This will get you hurt." And the best way is to scare him straight. So she reported him and he went to jail. Now, I don't know what happened after the fact. So that's one. There was another one down in Florida. There was a shooting. And the mother, the son, of course, was doing illegal activities with a woman in the car. The cops came up, knocked on the door because he was telling him, hey, just open the door, whatever. Of course, he didn't heed commands. He reversed back, trying to run over the cop. And the cop, of course, by doing that, the cops opened fire. He pushed the female that was in his car out of the car, and then he decided to ram the police SUV and stuff like that. Now, sadly and badly, he got shot and he died. The woman got a couple scuffs, but she's all right from the car. Here's the thing: when the mother was on the thing and she was from the Caribbean, I don't know which island, but when she saw, she at first was like, I can't believe this, whatever. But when she saw the video, not only the cam video from the dash cam, not only from the person, the video that's on the person, also from, there was what do you call it, a bank, not bank, it was a bank or it was a club. There was a CTR TV showing it from a bigger distance. You see that a cop didn't pull no gun or do nothing, and they did all this crazy stuff, whatever. She said after seeing that, yeah, I am sad for the loss of my son, but what he did was not good, putting a girl in danger, and he was doing illegal activities. And I'm sad that he passed away, but he put himself in a situation, and I don't blame the cops in that situation. That's what the mother said, and that's the kind of things that I understand, that we're trying to get to the point of not getting that the son get killed like that. Some girls do crazy stuff as well too. I saw a video today that happened, but it's just without the fathers to show that, hey, to keep them in line, to show them that the world is not fair. Okay, point blank, period. And the fathers give you a dose of reality, so you understand. You go out in the world, that dose of reality is like, okay, yeah, that's a stupid thing to do. I should not do that, whatever. Again, as I point out, I'm talking about the good fathers, the fathers who co-parent, and the ones who try to stay in their children's life without the mother trying to be a jerk to stop them. As I just gave an example of a woman who will be a horrible, her thinking is horrible. But we need both male and female. We need a man and a woman. We need the way God intended or nature intended, which we want to call it. We need both to take care of this child that y'all bring into the world. Men, if you're not ready to be a father, wrap it up, wrap it the hell up, young men. Do not do stupid stuff to get yourself, because I don't feel bad for you if you mess with a woman that you know that's crazy. Like I saw, I could show you many videos. Go to Project Over My Straight Chasers and you'll see many videos that you put yourself in that situation. I blame the woman was a horrible person, but men, no, you got to take accountability. You slept with the woman. Wrap it up, dispose of it. Do not have unprotected sex with no woman unless you're married. That's not a guarantee, but that's a better off situation than not being that. Okay? But the father figure is needed most in Black America. Since I am Black on this show, again, even though Joe Biden say I'm not I'm not Black because I didn't vote for him. I'm white man in blackface, but I know that joke gonna get old for a lot of you guys. I'm sorry, but hey, I'm just stating what I'm stating. But in that regard, we need that figure, that steadfast, strong figure. Now, sometimes a lot of fathers are bad because they were raised. I was raised most. I have my father in my life, so I'm not calling and I'm not calling for fathers as well too. But I was raised by my mom, and my mom would tell you she never thought of herself as a father and a mother. Like back in the day, I used to hear that, oh, Happy Father's Day to the women. I'm like, and I used to be like, okay, I get it, because my mom, and I'm like, no, you're not. And my mom was never one of those women, thank God. She knew that I needed a male figure in my life. I had my father, I had my cousin, and a couple male friends that when I was growing up, that I didn't know I was a man or a boy, a male boy, to be what it is. I understand that we have responsibilities. We cannot get away with a lot of stuff. We gotta take accountability. Cause the buck gotta stop with us. But there's a lot of men out there who don't have the fathers who become very emasculate. And I'm not talking about gay men. No, they are effeminate men out there. But majority of them are not good fathers because they install more of the feelings and consider instead of having not the toughness, but the confident in themselves to have put in their son and their daughters. Because with the son, you know how a man to be, you know how to treat a woman, you know how to have respect. That's what the father imposed to their son. To the daughters, it shows a man who's good, a man who's steadfast in his words, if it's true marriage and everything, and they do it the right way, and to know what a good man should look like. And also stop a lot of promiscuity a lot of these young women are having right there now, because again, women are saying men is a fault, men is a problem. There are more male in the last 2 generations, millennial, Gen Z. There are more male virgins than female virgins. So ain't the males being promiscuous, it's the women. So how you could blame the men for that when it's y'all, most of the women who be more promiscuous than that? Okay? Do not let, and then for the males out there, do not let this new wave of society, whatever, try to down you as a man. A man is a person who understands respect of surroundings, who understand the steadfast confidence that, hey, I got to take accountability and responsibility for what these hands, feet, and my thoughts to do in this society. If I'm going to say I'm going to do something, you do it. That's your word. That's what makes you a man in that regard as well. You steadfast by what you say, what your action is, and what you do. And most of that is implied by fathers. Okay? Some by mothers, but a lot by fathers. And we need those fathers. So in this regard, now we're getting into the videos. And I'm going to show you fathers. Fathers are very important. They are needed just as much as mothers. And we need to understand, share this with young men. Share this with other young ladies as well too. But share this with young men to see, hey, you cannot go out in the world with your emotions and think everything is going to turn out right. It doesn't work for you. Women are afraid of sex. They're going to give them the benefit of the doubt. You ain't getting that benefit of the doubt. There's so many things, so many crimes both men and women have done, but men get the harsher sentences. Even though in some cases, sometimes the women go way over and be more vindictive and more harsher, the men gets that. When you marry a woman, most of the time, sadly, 80% of the times, I've done this, I've showed this statistics already, 80% of the women file for divorces. So you got to be careful and do your own due diligence. Yes, women pick bad men, men pick bad women, and men pick bad women. I could test that I have myself picked bad women in the past. And I was diligent enough not to make a stupid decision in having a child with that person and marrying that person. I'm not, because everybody's infallible, everybody makes mistakes. So I want to go into this little situation here. I want to talk. I'm going to jump back into what I just talked about with the whole lady stuff like that, because this is a story right here. A lot of people don't know about this story, and it's going to take a while, so I don't want to go there. But I want to talk about this right here. You saw me put this on the show before. I want you guys to see again. These are young kids just fighting in school, and this is why. This again. See how fathers, the male figure is needed, not to be a thug, not to go show how much time I can have sex with multiple women, all that stuff. No, that's not needed. We need somebody who's steadfast, who have moral, good character. I don't care, white, black, Indian, Asian, just a male to show authority and show good moral decision making.
Not many good news stories begin in such a bad news
Look
way.
at that. Oh, that's boys.
It happened last month here at Southwood High School in Shreveport, Louisiana.
Plagued with violence.
Over the course of 3 days,
Another fight.
23 students arrested for fighting.
Massive police response to
But strangely, there hasn't been another incident since.
Hmm.
Perhaps in part because of this most unusual crisis intervention team.
Nobody here has a degree in school counseling. No majors in criminal justice. No. Your qualifications are?
With dads. We decided the best people who can take care of our kids are who? For us. What we do.
So Michael Lafitte started Dads on Duty.
We're out doing what we do for our babies.
And see what he says in the shirt? Respect for the ranch. Dads are on duty. That's what dads put into sons. Respect. Because people are like, oh, you should respect this, respect that. Respect is earned, not given. I have manners to be nice to you and say good morning, good afternoon, let me help you here, whatever. But when people tell me, oh, you should respect me, I'm like, I don't even respect you for nothing. Unless I see you got good character, I give you that. And that's what I like about this.
A group of about 40 Southwood dads who now hang out at the school in shifts.
Let's go.
Today, any negative energy that enters the building has to run a gauntlet of good parenting.
What's going on, buddy? You moving fast. I like that horse.
I immediately felt a form of safety. We stopped fighting. People started going to class.
You hear the results? Do you hear the results?
How could that be?
You ever heard of a look?
A look? Dads have the power to do that?
Yes.
Moms don't have that. Dads do. Moms have a look, and the look is
Nani?
OS. She crazy. She gonna do something crazy. That's what that is.
Not many people know it, but yes.
Let's go, let's go.
But it's not just the firm stares and stern warnings.
Let's make it to class, my son.
It's also the dad jokes.
They just make funny jokes like, oh, hey, your student's untied, but
You see, you have Hispanics, you have white, you have black, different female, male. They understand the dynamic. And right now, you got the mainstream media and these crazy college institutions, like I talked about where we fail our kids in the episode before, how they trying to degrade and bring down male and fathers for some weird reason I don't understand. And they don't see that their things don't work. They don't see that their ideas and their theories don't work. That's why I said a dangerous person, one of the most dangerous person out there, other than many, like I've given multiple reasons, but one of the dangerous people that's out there is a person who has knowledge, but don't have no wisdom. Because with that, you have the knowledge, but without the wisdom to apply that knowledge, you can make so many things wrong.
really not untied.
And they hate it. They're so embarrassed by it.
And it's that perfect mix of tough love and gentle ribbing that dads do so well that has helped transform this school.
The school has really just been like happy, and you can feel it.
Which is why the dads plan to keep coming to Southwood indefinitely.
Yes, for the kiddies, yes. Good. God bless those men. And happy Father's Day to every one of y'all who do stuff like this. God bless y'all, man.
Because not everybody has the father figure at home.
Exactly.
Male, period, in their life.
So just to be here makes a big difference.
Yep. Before Dennis get into that, and most of the videos are coming from him because I wanted, he's the best authority. I wanted to use his stuff because Dennis understand the point of father is he's a father himself too. And I don't care if he's white and Jewish. I don't care. The morals of partaking down to young kids is important no matter the race. No matter the race. Okay? It is needed. It's definitely needed in the society that we have today. All right, so let's go with Dennis. My good sir.
Both boys and girls need fathers. We'll begin with boys. A boy has no built-in understanding about how to be a man, meaning a good and responsible man. Male nature is wild. most obviously regarding sex and violence. If a boy does not have a father who models how a man controls himself, he will most likely not know how to control himself.
Exactly.
Let alone want to.
Exactly.
That's why most males in prison for violent crimes grew up without a father. After days of riots in the UK in 2011, quite like the 2020 riots in America, Christina Adone wrote a column for the London Telegraph whose title says it all. London riots, absent fathers have a lot to answer for. In the column, she wrote, the majority of rioters are gang members. Like the overwhelming majority of youth offenders behind bars, these gang members have one thing in common: no father at home. There's no question that many mothers have done an excellent job raising a boy without their son's father.
And I attest to that from my life experience between me and my sister, my mom and my dad and everything. I attest to that. But still, like I said, my mom was not crazy enough not to know that she needed a male figure to understand how to act.
But common sense alone suggests that a mother simply cannot model what a boy should be any more than a man can model to a girl what a...
Exactly. And also, I was the male figure in my sister's life to try to tamper to understand so she cannot go do crazy stuff. And my sister respects me. I understand what I'm doing.
A woman should be. And then there is the issue of controlling boys and their wild natures. Again, there are mothers who are able to do this. But if a boy is at all difficult, as so many are, as he gets older, most mothers will find it more and more difficult to control their son.
Yep.
Because unruly boys listen to their fathers much more than they listen to their mothers, which is precisely why most violent criminals grew up in fatherless homes.
Remember, the kid who shot all those kids in Texas didn't have his father. His father tried to be in his life, but the mother was a horrible person. She was.
You piece of loser.
Because she told everybody, she said, my son had a good reason to do this. No, he did not. And you should not judge him. To the heck we should. He should be judged. Technically speaking, he should be, ex-nan un a, because what he did, killing almost 20 kids, young kids, but no, that mother had no control over this.
They obviously did not listen to their mothers.
Exactly.
As regards daughters, the father is the man girls learn to relate to. Without a father to relate to and bond with, there are at least two destructive consequences. First, she will not know how to choose a man wisely.
Exactly.
She will not know how a man should treat her. And she may well end up with a man who mistreats her.
And I've seen it in my personal life as well, too, with people who should not be that. I should not name, but I'm seeing family members who choose men. I'm like, what in the world this guy possessed over you? And you had a good father, so what are you doing? So sometimes peer pressure does still sneak in and do horrible things. I say it's not perfect with all men. I'm not, and that's what I said. There's no perfect out here. I've said it multiple times.
Second, to fulfill her desire to bond with a man, as primally yearning in most women as bonding with a woman is in most men, she will go from man to man. Girls without fathers in their lives are far more likely to be sexually promiscuous.
Yep.
And to begin sexual activity at an earlier age.
Correct.
Which in turn are reasons many young women are depressed. Few women find sleeping with man after man fulfilling. Most find it ultimately depressing. Finally, fathers give both sons and daughters the thing children need most: a sense of safety and security. As much as children need love, they need a sense of security even more.
That's true.
And in general, moms give love and dads give security. I learned how necessary fathers are, not only by having one and being one, but by the many people, men and women, of all ages, who have told me that they see me as a father figure. I am honored to fill that role. The good news is that many men can fill it. Grandfathers, uncles, teachers, mentors, clergy, and yes, even a man on the radio. But some man has to be your father. I'm Dennis Prager.
Respect to Dennis Prager on that. And that's the point I've been pointing out as well, too. We need fathers to combat some of the things you just saw that he brought up there. That's why we need fathers. It's not that we need them, it's also they are necessary. Just like water you need water to live, so we need fathers and mothers. Again, we need both of them to live the most fulfilling life as we can. There are exceptions to the rules, okay? I'm not doubting that. There are exceptions to the rule, but that's exceptions. Those are the 10% that get or whatever. I am an exception to the rule, being that my mom, I should say, is an exception to the rule because she had 2 kids, raised them, a boy and a young lady and a daughter. I said, son and daughter. We have no kids, no STDs, healthy lives, graduate college, have great jobs. We're not living to poverty, making great income. She did a good job. But again, she didn't do it by herself. She had help from my grandmother and also I help from my father and also other male figures like my cousin, and again, me being the father figure for my sister. You need the male figure in the equation. Right now, a lot of these white, my usual white leftist women are saying horrible things, and I mean horrible. It sounds nice, but when you look at it logically, horrible things, and it's destroying black families. I'm telling you this right. The number one way to stop a lot of the problems in these downtrodden, poverty, all this thing, is to have to have a nuclear family in there, mother and father. That's is needed. Again, if you can't go through that, at least have a co-parenting. I have nothing against co-parenting because again, that just things happen, and I understand that. But you need them though. Let's go into seeing now the issues of what black family is in the, what black families are hurt because they don't have the father figures in there.
The biggest issue facing Black America is father absence. We have children that are growing up without their fathers in the home, and that is being incentivized by the government right now via the welfare system. When the government says we'll give you more money if you don't marry the father of your children, you are incentivizing bad behavior in our community. What happens when you remove a father from the home? This is why I do not mess with feminism at all. I'm not with it. This breakdown and mocking masculinity, making it seem like there's something wrong to be a man, all of this contributes to the breakdown of family.
Tupac Shakur, the late rapper, once said, "I know for a fact that had I had a father, I'd have some discipline, I'd have more confidence." He admitted he began running with gangs because he wanted the things a father gives to a child, especially to a boy: structure and protection. Your mother cannot calm you down the way a man can, Shakur said. You need a man to teach you how to be a man. Children who grow up without a father are 5 times more likely to live in poverty and commit
5 times
crime, 9 times more likely to drop out of school, and 20 times more likely to end up in prison. The Journal of Research on Adolescence confirms that even after controlling for varying levels of household income, kids in father-absent homes are more likely to end up in jail. And kids who never had a father in the house are the most likely to wind up behind bars.
Or dead.
In 1960, 5% of America's children entered the world without a mother and father married to each other.
This is the part that's crazy. 1960. And who introduced the welfare system? And again, said, I will have these entities voting Democrat for the next 200 years.
By 1980, it was 18%. By 2000, it had risen to 33%, and 15 years later, the number reached 41%. Fathers matter. Until we have a government policy that makes that its first priority, nothing will change.
And that is true. That is definitely true. Now, I want to bring this up right here because of, let me see if I can find it. Should be up here. So, we just brought up Tupac Shakur. Let me hear. Most people don't know the untold story about this. Everybody knows about Tupac, dear mama, and said, even though you're a crack fiend and you're a queen, that line never settled with me. You're a crack fiend doing horrible stuff, because we see what crack fiends do to other things. But you're a queen, and I don't, again, good for y'all who are always with the whole queen and king nonsense. I'm not. I don't care for it. I don't want a title. That title. I just want to be a morally good person, per se. But shout out to Pink Book Lessons in shortening this. Now, this is going to be a long video, but this, I want y'all to listen what happened to Tupac and what the mother role was in denying some stuff. And again, point out, to, like I said before, like I stated, that the father was trying to be in the life, but the mother didn't want that happen. Because, you know, so let's listen to this.
Yeah, man. So, the Tupac Museum, man. I heard you seen some paperwork at the museum that caught your attention, my man.
Absolutely. In particular, there was one letter that Tupac had wrote to who he thought at that particular time was his real father. And so the fact of the matter is I actually talked to his real father often. You know what I mean? A man by the name of Billy Garland, for those who know and those who may not know.
That right there was Delray Richardson. He said he talked to the father of the late rapper Tupac Shakur pretty often. Tupac was certainly one of the greatest rappers of all time. His very popular song Dear Mama is still played today, nearly 30 years later after its release, especially around Mother's Day. It's like an American Mother's Day anthem. Recorded July 14th, 1994, it was released 7 months later in 1995. In that song where Tupac praised his mother, Afeni Shakur, he said, "No love for my daddy cause the coward wasn't there. He passed away and I didn't cry cause my anger wouldn't let me feel for a stranger." Well, I wonder how he felt when he realized he had been lied to by his dear mama. Lied to about who his father really was and what happened. Special shout out to the brother Art of Dialogue. This is a wonderful interview. Much respect to you, brother, as well as Mr. Delray Richardson. We're going to get into this story, but take a second to make sure that you're subscribed to this channel. Click the notification bell for all updates, and if you're new, include new subscriber in your comment below, and I'm going to try my best to respond to all of you.
You my homeboy. Come in. What's up? All right, how you? Man, I got so many incense, I'm starting to stink.
This interview took place on October 27th, 1995 at Venice Beach.
You grew up without a father. How do you feel like your life would be different if you had grown up with a father?
And the funny thing about this is MTV before it became, here's the thing, back in the 90s, oh my goodness, 90s was it's not nostalgia. It's just, it comes like almost like a reliable fresh. Shout out to my 80s and 90s babies. Seriously, the 90s were where it had craziness, but not at the level we have right now. And it always was craziness. My thing is always, yes, we have cell phones and stuff that show stuff right now, and they are being crazy. But we never used to get the news more fortunate. Cell phones just showed what's happening more rapidly. That stuff happened. But we didn't have craziness like I just stated that, oh, a woman, a man can have a child and all this stupid stuff and birthing people and all this nonsense. Not really. The 90s were the good days. This was MTV before they got crazy, Viacom, and do the whole crazy stuff and push the envelope, try to be like, oh, this is off of MTV that I myself grew up and watched.
Discipline. I'd had more confidence.
You seem pretty confident to me.
Now I am, because now I believe that I'm my own man, and I'm a man. You know, money gave me confidence.
Money should not give you confidence. I can tell you that as a man perspective, it shouldn't give you confidence, because money is just something. As soon as that money goes away, that confidence will go away, because people won't respect you, and you're gonna find out truly who your true friends are.
Of the crowd gave me confidence. But before that, I was a shell of a man.
This here's a good.
That's something that, like I said, we need.
Do you feel like one day that you'll be a good father?
I think I'll be a very, very good father.
Why?
Because I love kids. I love the innocence. It just does something to my chest. The innocence that they have, and how they look up to you, and how you can't do no wrong to them. And I love that, man. I would do anything. I'd do damn near anything. I'd do damn near anything for them. All the kids in my life, my nieces, nephews, they get anything they want. They got the best Christmases, everything. They get whatever they want. I'm a sucker for them. But I wouldn't have any kids myself, because I'm scared to bring any children into this world, especially any black children.
For now
For
or
right
forever?
now. Just for right now.
At that moment,
And that's back in the 90s, which things was way better than they are today with the craziness.
moment in his life, Tupac, he was afraid to have his own kids, but he treated his nieces and nephews like his own. And although he was walking down Venice Beach, talking about this same subject, he made sure not to reveal too much of his pain from his childhood, mostly surrounding growing up with a single mother, having no confidence or discipline. The rapper wrote about his struggles as a fatherless child. Like this one right here, he said, "Those that knew me would easily co-sign. There was never a life as hard as mine. No father, no money, no chance, and no guide. I only follow my voice inside." That was a poem written by Tupac. He wrote a lot of those, as well as letters. And Delray Richardson came across one of them in the Tupac exhibit.
And when I saw this letter, the conversations that me and Mr. Garland had over time, I've been privy to some things that he's told me that I wasn't at liberty to even talk on camera until now. You know what I mean? And I talked to him. He gave me the okay, and he said it was okay. You know what I mean? And I checked in with him before we actually did this video. And so the letter in particular is Tupac talking about who he thought at that particular time, which was told to him by his mother, that another guy by the name of Legs, Kenneth Saunders, was his father. And so what I'm gonna do is right now is I'm gonna share with your viewers. I'm gonna read the actual letter, and here's the letter right here. So and it starts off. It says Chapter 1. It says the title of the letter is Chapter 1: The Panther and the Gangster. And like I said, it really hit me tough, because I was like, wow. It says, "My father's life is a mystery to me, but I will start to share what little information I do have with you. His given name was Kenneth Saunders. He had a daughter from his first marriage before my mom, and he was a well-known gangster in the streets of Harlem, New York. But not by Kenneth Saunders. On the streets, he was known as Legs because of his tall stature and his large physical build. I also know that he was an addicted freebaser and a natural sweet-talking con man. I know that from personal experience. Besides that, that's all I know about my father. It's a shame all I have is half of a page of history on the man who helped bring me into this world. I can say that he was good to me for the 6 months I spent with him. But in the words of the classic song, which was crazy, he said, Papa was a rolling stone. Wherever he laid his hat was his home. And when he died, all he left me was alone."
In that letter written by Tupac, he was expressing his pain, talking about all the negative attributes of a man named Kenneth, aka Legs. the man that his mother told him was his father. After that man passed away, Tupac wrote about him in July of 1994 when he was penning Dear Mama. At the time, he was 23 years old. And unfortunately, he didn't find out the truth until 4 months later, November 30th, 1994, when he was shot 5 times in New York at Quad Studios.
In Tupac, he found out that his dad was alive while he was in the hospital?
Yeah, he actually found out, like I said, when he was recuperating in the hospital at Bellevue Hospital after he had got shot at Quad.
Now, I don't want to pass on this moment right here to say this too. Listen, as I just gave you the nostalgia trick on the 90s, but it still had a craziness in there too. You're shooting up somebody because of the words in the song. This was the raw starting of how words are starting to be basically violence in that regard. Like, I don't care what song, as long as you ain't touch me, whatever. I don't care what the words is. Sing a song all about me. Call me what you want. I don't care. But we see how that went with Tupac and Biggie. But let's continue.
And so, yeah, Mr. Garland said that when he had walked up there to the hospital, and he walked in, he said basically he was going in to see his son. When he walked up, the security guard was there. He said basically that he said, I'm going to see my son. He said, who's your son? He said, Tupac. He said the security guard actually told him that Tupac father's dead. And
wow.
Yeah. And then that I think it was either Afeni came out and said, no, that's Tupac's father. Let him in. So that goes to show what I'm saying is that she actually knew.
So in November of 1994, when that studio incident went down, Tupac's real father, he went to the hospital to see him. You had security stopping him like, no way, you can't be Tupac's father. Tupac's father is dead. His mother, Miss Afeni, she was there and she told him let him through, that's his father. That's at 23 years old. His whole life he had been told that another man was his biological father. Now a year later, after being hit 5 times and also serving 8 months in prison for something that he said he did not do, he was walking down Venice Beach talking to an MTV reporter and he touched on finding out the truth about his father.
I needed a father, I needed a male influence in my life. And these were the males. The other males who could have been a more positive influence on me were too scared to come where I was. Or they didn't have the money, or they didn't have the heart, or whatever.
At this point, you have to realize that Tupac was 24 years old. And although he found out the truth about his father less than a year before this interview, he still wasn't ready to hold his mother accountable for all of the information that was revealed to him over the course of that year. Instead, he was blaming the good guys who didn't want to come back to the hood to help kids like Tupac from broken homes. And look at him right here. Dear Mama was released earlier that year, praising the woman that he had a lot of admiration and respect for. And that's why he was struggling to hold her accountable for the lies.
Yep.
Not growing up with a father. Why didn't you grow up with a father?
It's not just me, it's a lot of people, but I
In your
didn't because, I mean, the times that I came up and was like the late 60s, they were still having free love. You know, they was just hitting what they was hitting. And my mother got pregnant and wasn't really getting with the guy that
She was
got her
married to
pregnant.
someone else at the time,
No, she
right?
wasn't married.
No?
My mother was out just living her life. Thank you, I appreciate it. Thank you. And she got pregnant and had me. I didn't have a father.
In the late 60s, early 70s, most black kids were born to married parents. In his mother's case, she wanted to be wild and free. She wasn't in a relationship with the man, but she was having relations, carefree, casual relations, and that's how she ended up with Tupac out of wedlock.
Did you know who the father was, your biological father?
I still don't know who it is, for sure. I've never taken any blood tests. The guy who I knew was my father, who claimed to be my father, he passed away, he died.
And is that legs?
Yes, but then recently, after I got shot, this other guy came, was like he was my father, and he looks like me. He'd been in the jail to see me. His kids look like me.
Well, what was that like?
That was the bug out of me. I just woke up and he was standing over me. So.
This is why you need fathers in your life. The mother lied to Tupac. For what reason?
In jail?
When I was in the hospital.
And what did he, do you believe him?
I do in a way because he looks like me, and his kids look like me.
Why don't you get a blood test to find out?
It's scary.
Is it pointless now?
In a way. I mean, I'm not gonna love him anymore or love him any less, so it's pointless.
Did he explain?
It's not pointless because your world just got shifted right there. The tectonic plates of your life just got shifted, Tupac. So yeah, I get it, and you're scared. I think you will love them. I've seen people who have gotten fathers later, find out who their father, whatever, and it has changed their lives.
Why?
Even though you didn't grow up with them, it still have changed their lives.
He left?
Yeah.
What did he say?
It was personal. It wasn't, I don't want to
Okay.
put his word. I'll tell everything about me, but I don't want to
No, that's
give
fine.
out his business.
That's cool. Can you tell me why you looked at Legs as your father?
Because the way my mom's told me was like, he didn't even care. He was like, yo, because he slept with her around the same time. So he was like, you had a kid? She was like, yeah. He came and saw me in the bed. I had a real big head when I was a little kid, same thing like right now. And he's like, oh, that's my son. No blood test, nothing. He was just like, that's my son. Took care of me, gave me money, but he was like a criminal too. He was a drug dealer out there doing his thing. So he only came, bought me money.
She wanted the bad guy. She wanted the bad boy. She didn't want a good guy. Life of the story of even up to now, I learned this. As a shout out to a friend who's going through some crap right now. You choose a bad thug over a good guy who does right by you. That puzzles the hell out of me.
Real things.
This is a prime example of why paternity tests should be taken at birth for every single child that's born. No matter if it's out of wedlock or not, all kids should have a mandatory paternity test at birth. I mean, think about it. He found out at 23 years old that he wasted a whole bunch of time being mad at the wrong person.
And me and Mr. Garland have talked about that. And like I said, he shared with me an abundance of information. And so when I recently, when I sent him that letter, he told me that it broke his heart. You know, that, Afeni had lied to Tupac in regards to who his real father was.
Right.
Despite all of the things and the things that Mr. Garland was there for when Tupac had got shot. Being in the hospital, like I said, he told me that, he was there in the hospital. He was in Vegas, when Tupac was basically on life support. He had went to Jasmine Guy's house. He gave me an abundance of information. And the thing that hit me the most was, is that, how Afeni lied to Tupac about who his real father was when she really actually knew.
It could be two strong scenarios here. One, she really knew that Billy Garland was his father the whole time and she lied on purpose. Or two, she was running around having casual relations and she wasn't sure which one was actually the father. Either way, I could understand how it was hard for Tupac to accept this, but his mother lied to him. It's a lot of people who avoided paternity tests and they took the truth to the grave.
True.
Wow.
Yeah, that right there, it kind of hit me because, like I said, I've talked to Mr. Garland, and there was another thing that really caught my eye too, and it was the actual birth certificate of Tupac Shakur.
Actual birth certificate of them, huh? Well, are you surprised how that works out?
Wow. Actually, there's two. There's one with Paris Lisanne Crooks, which was Tupac's given birth name. And then there's another one, which actually has Tupac Amaru Shakur on it. And so what I thought was ironic about that was the fact that it didn't have Mr. Kenneth Saunders' Legs, who Tupac was told to be his father. And it also didn't have who Tupac's real father was, Billy Garland. And so, like I said, so for me, something that me and Tupac had talked about briefly, the fact that I carried somebody's last name that's not actually my father, and he carried somebody's last name who actually wasn't his father. That's a conversation that we had when he had got out of prison. And the craziest part about all of this is that when Tupac died, after he died, Afeni had put on from Mr. Gar, she had put on the death certificate that Tupac's father was actually dead.
The year following this Venice Beach interview, Tupac was involved in another shooting, this time in Vegas, and unfortunately he did not survive. He lived a quarter of a century, and even after finding out the truth, he did not want to confirm it.
In our community, we have a lot of that. You know what I mean? Like I said, my situation, Tupac's situation, and various other African American male situations, you know, where we grow up, whether it's, you know, a father's not in the home, there was disenchantment between the mother and the father, and, you know, this thing happens where they separate, and, you know, and there's just this friction that goes on. You know what I mean? So it runs prevalent in our community. And then, you know, when you hear Dear Mama, he basically goes into in the song, he says, you know, I was looking for a father, he was gone. You know, and when he talked about that, it's like, wow, you know, at that time she knew. And, you know, Afeni had said that was one of her favorite songs that Tupac had wrote.
Of course
so I was wondering, like, well, wow, how did that affect her, you know, when she heard Tupac actually rap about that, you know? He said, they say I'm wrong and I'm heartless, but all along I was looking for a father and he was gone.
That's so true what he said. A lot of people, they're walking around angry at the wrong person, or they don't know the whole story. Remember, Tupac said as a kid, the way that his mom explained to him about Legs, the guy who he thought was his father, she told him that he just didn't care.
Can you tell me why you looked at Legs as your father?
Because the way my mom's told me was like, he didn't even care. He was like, yo, because he slept with her around the same time.
Yeah, it looks like Tupac was taught to despise a man who wasn't even his father, basically hating a man for 23 years over a lie. And although there's great respect in the community for Miss Afeni Shakur, one of the major problems her son he was dealing with, it was a result of her decisions. So shout out to Art of Dialogue for this interview. If you want to see the full video, the link will be below in the description. Tupac did not have his father, and he experienced a lot of pain because of it. He lived with that pain until his last day, 25 years, just learning that his mother lied to him about his father 2 years prior. Let's go ahead and get the comment.
That is something that's very hard to understand to certain people in that regard. Even he wrote about why, and again, Tupac was smart enough to know how his life would have been different if he had a father in it. He himself knows that, and he showed that in that interview. That's why fathers are needed, including black fathers. Again, I am not standing up for fathers. If you really know that you had sex and you really had a child, and you don't want to be in that child's life, you to me as a male,
you piece of loser.
You're a piece of crap. Nah, you take responsibility for that child. If that child is yours now, if you could get a DNA test and the child's not yours, that's a different story, and I respect that, whatever. If you want to be a father figure to that child, go right ahead. Sometimes I've seen when women know that they lied and they got caught in the lie and all that stuff, they just want to just like, well, I hate you more and pull away from that. But fathers are still needed in that moment. So that's it's a horrible thing. It really is. But again, I want to just illustrate some more things with the father. So I'm gonna take the 2-minute video we just watched with Larry Elder and take it up to and show the whole video so you can see again what it is.
Years ago, I interviewed Kwesi Mfume, then the president of the NAACP. As between the presence of white racism and the absence of black fathers, I asked him, which poses the bigger threat to the black community? Without missing a beat, he said, the absence of black fathers. It was President Barack Obama who said, we all know these statistics, that children who grow up without a father are 5 times more likely to live in poverty and commit crime, 9 times more likely to drop out of school, and 20 times more likely to end up in prison. The Journal of Research on Adolescence confirms that even after controlling for varying levels of household income, kids in father-absent homes are more likely to end up in jail, and kids who never had a father in the house are the most likely to wind up behind bars. In 1960, 5% of America's children entered the world without a mother and father married to each other. By 1980, it was 18%.
And this is all
By 2000,
demographics.
it had risen to 33%, and 15 years later, the number reached 41%.
And 74%
For
in blacks.
Even during slavery, when marriage for slaves was illegal, black children were more likely than today to be raised by both their mother
And their father.
Economist Walter Williams has written that, according to census data from 1890 to 1940, a black child was more likely to grow up with married parents than a white child. For blacks, out-of-wedlock births have gone from 25% in 1965 to 73% in 2015. For whites, from less than 5% to over 25%, and for Hispanics, out-of-wedlock births have risen to 53%. What happened to fathers? The answer is found in a basic law of economics. If you subsidize undesirable behavior, you will get more undesirable behavior.
Exactly.
In 1949, the nation's poverty rate was 34%. By 1965, it was cut in half to 17%, all before President Lyndon Johnson's so-called war on poverty. But after that war began in 1965, poverty began to flatline. From 1965 until now, the government has spent over $20 trillion to fight poverty. The poverty rate has remained unchanged, but the relationship between poor men and women has changed dramatically.
Yep.
That's because our generous welfare system allows women, in effect, to marry the government. And this makes it all too easy for men to abandon their traditional moral and financial responsibilities. Psychologists call such dependency learned helplessness. How do we know that the welfare state creates disincentives that hurt the very people we're trying to help? They tell us. In 1985, the Los Angeles Times asked both the poor and the non-poor whether poor women often have children to get additional benefits. Most of the non-poor respondents said no. However, 64% of poor respondents said yes. Now, who do you think is in a better position to know? Tupac Shakur, the late rapper, once said, "I know for a fact that had I had a father, I'd have some discipline, I'd have more confidence." He admitted he began running with gangs because he wanted the things a father gives to a child, especially to a boy: structure and protection. "Your mother cannot calm you down the way a man can," Shakur said. "You need a man to teach you how to be a man." In my book, Dear Father, Dear Son, I write about my rough, tough World War II Marine Staff Sergeant dad. Born in the Jim Crow South of Athens, Georgia, he was 14 at the start of the Great Depression. Growing up, I watched my father work 2 full-time jobs as a janitor. He also cooked for a rich family on the weekends and somehow managed to go to night school to get his GED. When I was 10, my father opened a small restaurant that he ran until he retired in his mid-80s. He was never angry or bitter and insisted that today's America was very different from the world of racial segregation and limited opportunity in which he grew up. "Hard work wins," he told me and my brothers. "You get out of life what you put into it. You can't control the outcome, but you are 100% in control of the effort. And before blaming other people, go to the nearest mirror and ask yourself, what could I have done to change the outcome?"
That's why I say a father. That's what a father puts into sons. That's why I like this right here.
This advice shaped my life. Fathers matter. Until we have a government policy that makes that its first priority, nothing will change.
Why would the government do that? They get too much money from making women single and independent on them.
I'm Larry Elder for Prager University.
That's just what it is. But let's go into let's see. I want to again.
Hey, we're here with y'all. We're here to help. All right.
Okay? Okay?
Look at that.
It's all right. We're all here together, okay? Huh? Down at 16 is come up with a better way. Because how we doing it, it ain't working. He angry at 46. I'm angry at 31. You angry at 16. It's over, you understand me? Putting yourself in harm's way is not the way. No, it's not. You and the other your counterparts the same age and that has that same power. Y'all come up with a better way. Because we ain't doing it. Oh my God.
Years ago, I interviewed Kwesi Mfume, then the president.
And basically, he's playing the same thing over again. So I just wanted to give you that little piece right there. Why male figures are important. These young boys like that, nah. I'm trying to simplify. Well, I have it, but I just want to make sure. Okay, just that right there. So I'll go with that.
Are fathers necessary?
Yes.
For all of recorded history, the need to explain why fathers are necessary would have been regarded as, well, unnecessary. It would have been like explaining why water or air is necessary.
Exactly.
But we live at a time in which the obvious is routinely denied. There have been articles in the most prestigious journals denying the importance of fathers. The Atlantic magazine, for example, published an article titled, "Are Fathers Necessary? A Paternal Contribution May Not Be as Essential as We Think."
This is mainstream media doing this nonsense.
The New York Times published a discussion among 5 intellectuals titled, "What Are Fathers For?"
Holy Jesus. What is that? What the fuck is that?
One of them, Hannah Rosen, an editor at New York Magazine, opened her response by stating, "I'm not sure whether a child needs a father."
Well, how the hell you get the child without the father's sperm?
What the fuck?
I could give dozens of such examples. I'll just give one more. HuffPost published a piece titled, "Fathers Are Not Needed." Fortunately,
these are crazy, intellectual, leftist white women.
You piece of loser.
Women who say this nonsense. And for some reason, they got more gravitas than anything.
this dismissal of the importance of fathers is not universal. In a 2008 Father's Day speech, a few months before his election as President of the United States, Barack Obama said, "Fathers are critical to the foundation of each family. That they are teachers and coaches, they are mentors and role models, they are examples of success, and they are the men who constantly push us toward it."
And I wish former President Barack Obama stick to that, but he didn't. I want to do a video about that because my worst disappointment of the Barack family is how they never showed the real community and the nuclear family come together. They never showed that in that regard. People look at, oh, yeah, they're together and all that stuff. I'm not talking about that. I'm like, what he just put on the screen right there, that should be talked about more. It was not. And how Michelle Obama should have talked to young women and saying, oh, because a lot of young women think, oh, if he's a square and he's not, he's boring, whatever. Michelle Obama said herself, she didn't partake in Barack Obama when he first tried to attempt to be with her. He thought she was square, whatever. But look, to come to find out, he became the first black president. Huh? That should be what they talk about, but it didn't. And that's my disappointment with the Obama family.
What makes his comments particularly noteworthy is that Barack Obama grew up without a father. Both boys and girls need fathers. We'll begin with boys.
And I'll leave it to that because it's basically repeating what we just went through and all the other stuff, like I said, in that regard. It's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. I'm gonna see if we can find one more before we call it a night here. One more video that Prager had, and I didn't see it per se. Because I want to make sure you guys see this. It's fathers are integral. are integral to this society that we're living in. Integral. And why we playing these games, I don't get it. That's the part that kind of makes me feel, what the heck is going on here? It's bad, and it really mess up a lot of these young kids. So they don't know what's going on. They don't know why I have this this yearning for something, because without that, these kids again will be putting their life in the hands of some crazy other people and do crazy things without that. And not only that, I mean, the father show also responds to economic, helping the economic growth. And that's something that a lot of people need to understand. Don't think I'll find that one video that I need, that I want to show. I don't think I'll find any time, a lot of time I have. But I could play this one right here, and I think this is just enough, well needed in anything.
Sonata versus Honda.
Oh, not that.
I consider myself to be a typical Main Street American. One thing that is different about me is that I have a big family. Not so common in America these days. I'm the proud father of 13 children. 8 are white and 5, adopted, are black. My family is my greatest joy, and my life is dedicated to their well-being and happiness. I'm struggling right now because I genuinely don't know how best to support my black children through this tumultuous and painful period in our history. Some say I should get involved with the Black Lives Matter movement, while others say I should avoid it at all costs.
I say avoid it.
To help me figure this out, I have some questions for the Black Lives Matter Global Network.
Oh, boy.
Before asking, let me preface my questions with some background. In the summer of 2020, a peaceful BLM demonstration in my hometown of La Mesa, California, turned violent as protesters began rioting, looting, and setting fires. The next day, I took my 14-year-old black son downtown to help with the cleanup. As we walked past the charred remains of Chase Bank, I noticed the letters BLM graffitied onto a wall amid the rubble. It was unsettling, as if Black Lives Matter was claiming credit for the bank's destruction. I didn't want to believe that. Just as any parent who has adopted and biological children, I love them all the same. Obviously, I never want to see any of them wrongly accused, mistreated, or targeted because of their skin color. I would happily support any peaceful movement that helps to secure racial justice and equality. I also recognize the need for law and order. No community can survive, let alone thrive, without that. This is the source of my conflict and confusion. Is it possible for my family to support the Black Lives Matter movement while also supporting the police?
And that says, yes, you can. Not the organization. I say that. The words, the phrase, yeah. I think all lives matter or no lives matter. And the reason I've said that multiple times is because, again, I think lives, that's all, white, black, whatever. That's why I was saying at the end of my show, which you will hear at the end of the show with the whole thing. That's why I was saying that regard. But I say it again. If I don't care what color you are, you come to that door down there, you come to that door, my front door, and you're not warranted, your life is worth less than the dirt that's on my shoe. Don't go breaking in people's houses. Don't go do horrible stuff. I don't care. Your life ain't matter to me at that point because I'm protecting my family.
I went to your website looking for answers, but I came away with more questions. You state that your mission is to eradicate white supremacy and build local power to intervene in violence inflicted on black communities by the state and vigilantes. But you don't explain how you're going to do that.
Exactly.
What is your definition of white supremacy, of local power? By state, I assume you mean police. Who are the vigilantes you're referring to? And how do you propose to intervene in violence inflicted on Black communities? Honestly, I can't tell whether you intend to pursue your mission through peaceful or violent methods. Until recently, your website also declared that you will disrupt the Western prescribed nuclear family structure. Does my family fit that description? Why would you want to disrupt my family structure?
Exactly.
That language has been quietly removed. Does that mean that you no longer hold that view? Or
Oh no, they're hypocrites, and they didn't want to, because again, they want to push more of the crazy stuff.
was it just the expedient thing to do?
Yep.
I reached out to my local chapter of Black Lives Matter, hoping to speak with someone who could help me sort all this out. I then contacted your regional and national headquarters. I got no response.
Of course not.
So I began doing my own research.
It was all for the money, the organization, not the phrase, the organization.
That led me to an interview on the internet.
And that's why I always stated this right here. I always stated, when there's good things that happen, most politicians or people, or white people for Black people, always co-opt it and turn it into a prior. It really has.
With one of your founders, Patrice Cullors.
Which recently we just found out she took $6 million of the money and bought houses and gift parties for her son and her baby daddy, and bought an $8 million house for her new wife husband in Canada.
Nani?
Oh yeah, she's the moral definition of why she would do this.
We are trained Marxists, she said. We are super versed on ideological theories. Which theories are those?
No, she's just trained Marxist when it comes to push and get her money. When she gets the money, she ain't no Marxist. She's a capitalist in that regard, because she could buy all these $1 million houses. She ain't got one. She have multiple houses, even one with its own airport in Atlanta, Georgia, her own runway.
Is Black Lives Matter a Marxist-inspired organization?
Yes.
Marx advocated for the forcible overthrow of our civilization. Is that what BLM wants also?
Yeah, but Marx was a part of the bourgeoisie, and he didn't care about that as long as he keeps getting his money, because he was the higher power. That's why he didn't care about throwing that, because he wants to disrupt the nuclear family. Because if you disrupt the nuclear family, the young ones don't have no path, no guidance. As you heard Tupac said, no guidance to understand the moral, the moral decision they could do. That's why Stalin took after Marx and said, these people become useful idiots. That's what Stalin called these people. The person who wanted to go against the bourgeoisie and have the power and wanted to riot. They were useful idiots. They were keeping the rich people that they say, oh, we don't want rich people in power. Look at Chavez. Look at Maduro in Venezuela. They're the rich. And they're the ones always saying, oh, I care for the poor and everything. Look at Biden. Biden's been in office for 50 years. He's rich. He's been in office for 50 years. Nancy Pelosi, who has less power than him, been in office for a long time as well, too. She's worth $100 million more than the president of the United States. She bought a $25 million house in Florida, while Barack Obama bought a $50 million house in Martha's Vineyard. How this woman got that much power and more money? These are the people who say, we're going to help the poor. And they're the ones who hurt the poor. Inflation hurts poor more than the rich. And if you got a raise this year, you're not getting, you just got hit with a $7 unseen tax for eggs, food, gasoline, and all that stuff like that.
I have a few more questions. As an organization, do you believe in and support the Constitution?
No.
Do you honor the flag, or do you view it as a symbol of oppression?
Oppression.
Do you believe that people should be primarily judged by the content of their character or the color of their skin? Do you support or condemn destruction of personal and private property of others?
Support.
Do you believe in the defacing and destruction of statues, monuments, and other public property?
Yes.
Do you believe that police departments need to be reformed, or to be defunded, or to be
Reformed.
eliminated altogether?
Well, eliminated,
I am
but
one of
it
countless
needs
Americans
to be
who want
reformed.
answers, but I can't seem to get any. From all reports, you've raised millions of dollars in support of your organization. What are you doing with that money?
Spending
Are
it
you
on
using that
themselves?
money in some way to help Black communities?
No, they're not.
No one seems to know. I humbly propose that you use some of that money to help Black people who have been harmed by the destruction that has accompanied BLM protests.
Exactly.
I'm thinking of the many Black business owners whose shops were destroyed by riots in your name.
Which I've showed a lot of them, and they didn't help. It was the evil white man Republicans and all the other or libertarians and all that stuff came to help those things. Like the old lady that I showed when this stuff really happened, and she was like, "Why don't you? I don't do this. Why don't you come after me? Look what y'all did to my stores." You know, you saw that video, and I played it multiple times.
I'm thinking of the family of David Dorn, the Black retired police captain who was shot and killed while trying to protect a friend's pawn shop from looters. With all my heart, I believe that Black Lives Matter. I would like to support Black Lives Matter, the organization, in an effort to support my Black children.
No.
But it's hard to do so if I don't know your beliefs and goals.
I'll leave it at that. The answer will be no. We always see the thing. Again, you want to believe in Black Lives Matter as a phrase, as a saying? I'm not against that. You're supposed to. But they used to say we got to destroy the rest of the nuclear family. The number one thing to help Black people in it, because as I stated before, look at the numbers. We have been between 12 to 15% from since 1960s. We have not grown. Every other demographics has grown beyond. Hispanics is close to like 40%. Asians have grown, even though they're small, but they've grown from the couple percentage up to whatever it might be surpassing us in a couple of years. We are the ones that destroy ourselves. The black on black crime is horrible. The number one reason is we don't have fathers in the homes. And again, fathers, if guys, before you could just like the term, they're just sperm donors, they're egg donors as well too. Hey, if you're having sex with this woman, take responsibility. Wrap it up, wrap it up, wrap it up. Don't have unprotected sex, period. One. But two, if that happens, take responsibility. It was your fault that you did that. Yeah, you might not like the woman, but try your best to be in your child's life. In most cases, sometimes that's horrible, and then the mother had the resentment and don't want it to be that. I saw a video I showed where this woman was making, you know, she was making her own company organization, and I might do a video like this for the side chat, not the side chat, not the side chat, straight no chasers. But I talked about that situation, and in a situation where I see where mothers are trying to make it worse than it is. She has a company. She has a catering company, and she took the father to court. The son has been with the father for 3 years. 3 years. She barely sees the son once a month, as they argue that in front of the judge in divorce court and stuff, and in a paternity court. She took the father to the court because she wanted up the child support. He makes, okay, so let's get into this, okay? He had a child for 3 years, paying for everything. She said she wanted to up the child support so she could take the child support and pay for the son. Okay, child support is supposed to go for the son. I get that. But because she don't have, but the thing about it, she want to take the money from the father to pay back the child, even though he has full custody of the child.
NANI?
And she wanted to up it. The father makes $40,000 a year. The mother makes $400,000 a year.
What the fuck?
That is ridiculous. And she wanted the court to up it. Now, thank God in this situation, the court reversed it. But that is ridiculous. That was ridiculous. So I understand, even though the families it didn't work out for you and the daughter and the mother. The father's taking care of the son. And there's a lot of men out there I know personally who are working hard, who are in their son's life despite the mother. And I respect you fathers a lot. I respect a lot of stepdads. It's not easy. I could have showed another video of this young boy being disrespectful for a stepdad, but his stepdad is paying for all the bills and everything like that. shout out to my girl. She has a stepdad who is a great father in her life. So there are stepdads out there. I give them respect as well too. All right, but don't let them fool you. As you saw in the New York Times, the video that Prager just said, Dennis Prager just stated that there, are fathers needed? Do we need fathers? Fathers are not important. How the heck do you get the child? And I'm watching this anime. I forgot When the Earth Stops or something like that. I forgot the name of the anime. Disrespectful. Sorry about that. But anime was happening. There was a disease that killed off all men, mostly all men. There were a couple of men who was in stasis lock, and they're trying to repopulate the Earth. Women, the Earth fell apart. The bourgeoisie women, who the government, whatever, they were living the rich life, nice, fancy, whatever. Not surprising. And of course, they wanted the men to have sex with them so they could have children. They couldn't do it by sperm insemination because of how the disease was either. These men didn't have the disease. But the women outside of the world, they were living in desolation. Why? Because most women don't want to do the garbage truck, the sewer, the plumbing, the heavy lifting work. They didn't want to do that. So the society fall down, except for the few women who was at the top bourgeoisie who paid certain women a lot of money to do those jobs. But they didn't want to pay them. They don't want to pay that money outside of the government so that other women could benefit from that. It's an interesting detail. Like I said, men are needed just as much as women. Okay? It just is. And I will do a video on straight no chases about that because it's crazy with the whole pay gap nonsense, which has been debunked all the way through. But I wanted to put it where these women understand what's going on, and I hope a lot of young women could learn that. But in the end of this, look, fathers are needed. Father is necessary. Like David Sprague said, and I said before, David Sprague in this video, yes, there are bad fathers out there. There are bad mothers too. But there are good fathers out there as much as good mothers. We need to protect those. We need that to be important. And ladies, you need to choose better guys. Don't care about their status in that regard, because again, there could be guys out there who have great status in the world, and they're basically
You piece of loser.
They're that. They're literally that. So don't do that. Choose the right guys and characters. I saw another video where this guy was this young man and this was a young woman, and it was I might do a video about that too. I need to. The guy was a nuclear physicist, a smart young man, and a woman turned him down because she said he had no personality. He was a lame. Are you serious? He's a lame? The man is a smart guy, and he looked like he was he's doing great things. He's getting good money, but because he didn't have the edge on him, as she said, he had an edge. And I love what she said. I dated a doctor. I love what she said because she explained herself and it made it even worse. I had a doctor and we went to the strip club. Did that flow over your head, ma'am? Yeah. The doctor thought of you as fun. And you're not with him. And I like how she said, yeah, I could tell personality. I did a lot of men. I could tell by a lot of personality he was not what? Well, according to your logic, you did a lot of men and none of them stick with you. The common factor is, I don't know, you. That's the factor. So please choose good men. And men, please, like the video, like the segment I had earlier, please do your best to scout these women. I myself, again, I'm not perfect. I fell for the okie dokie, some women, whatever. But again, I had this mindset since teenager. Do not have unprotected sex unless it's my wife. That's my rule, and that's what it is. I'm going to be 40 this year. I have no child out there. There's women trying to trap me 3 times in the past. I didn't fall for it. I didn't do crazy stuff. Wrap it up, and take responsibility for your own transgression. Nobody else is going to do that other than you, okay? Do that. All right? With that said, I think that's a good note to end it on. I want, again, everybody out there to have a great Father's Day. This weekend surpassed. I did a Father's Day dinner with my girlfriend for her father, and give him a gift. And I wish everybody out there a happy Father's Day. Again, like I said, to the stepdads who stepped up and be a stepdad, even though you had troubles, to the fathers who want to be in their lives and stay in that, to those who are male figures in other children's lives who are adopted, young kids as well too. God bless every one of you. We need fathers. Importantly, the number one way to save Black America is keep fathers in contact. Good fathers, okay, not bad fathers, good fathers in contact, so these kids could know what to do, what to look for, from a daughter's perspective and from a son's perspective, as Trigger put it out there, and I've said it myself as well. Okay, I hope I'm a good father. I think I'll be a good father. Many women have told me I will be a good father, but until I have a child, I'm not into practice. I can't say what it is until I do that. But I can tell you, I've been a good father figure to many people, including my sister and many other people out there. People who wanted to cut themselves and suicide themselves, and I talked them out of it, and they're living productive life. I know a woman who wanted to kill herself. She's now a pharmacist with her own family. She didn't think she'd ever get a family. She got her own family and doing very well. A young boy, which I'll feature on this channel, he basically was the same way too. Very depressed. Almost wanted to end his life and everything. Now the young man is making $10,000 a month. And I'm happy I intervened into his life to make him feel better. That's what is needed. A father figure. Okay? Uncles, like they said, all the other stuff, but number one thing is to have a father in your life. Okay? So, again, I praise everybody out there, the males, to one, be a man, understand fathers teach you to be a man, but also, again, have yourself the mental fortitude to understand why fathers are very important. And ladies, again, please choose the right fathers. You're the only person who could choose that. Please pick the right fathers. Okay? If you want a child. If you don't want a child and you want to have fun, go ahead, do what you want to do. You can be promiscuous, and then you, as Dennis Prager said, and most of you also do, your connection to self-bonding by having multiple partners goes lower and lower and lower, and you get depressed more and more and more. Women are on an all-time high on antidepressants right now because of what's going on in nature. They thought that, hey, working and doing this, whatever. And I'm not knocking for women who want to go out there and work and be CEOs, whatever. But you are also, you have to have this mental strength and the fortitude to deny your instincts. And if you can do that, God bless you. If you can't, that's where your sadness is coming from, your depression is coming from. And with that stated again, I want to thank all the fathers out there who are doing their dang things, all right? Do your thing, be the right fathers. If you, and those guys who are going to become fathers, God bless you, and I hope everything goes well. The children go, that He provides you the accolade and the mental fortitude to raise these kids as best you can, because I know it's not an easy job. Mothers is not an easy job, fathers is easy job, but please understand, fathers are needed. Fathers' lives all matter. Okay? Fathers' lives matter a lot. To have a very moral and good society and economy and a lot of things. Alright? That said, this is your boy Taker Project Open Mike. Remember, evil comes in all shapes, size, gender, party, height, color. It makes a difference. Evil is evil. And also remember, people are stupid, individuals smart. Be that smart individual. Please. Happy Father's Day to all the fathers. Peace out.